It's me, Vera, here to remind you that this is an adult podcast. That means we're going to deal with tough topics. Take a break if you need it, and be kind to yourself, because we sure won't be.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Cracked Crown, a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition podcast, episode 1 of season 2, and it has been a long time since I've said that. As always, I'm your storyteller, Mike Martin, joined today by 3 of my wonderful players, Dot, Mark, and Jason.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
It's been months, something like that.
It has been months. We took a little bit of a con break, and then the holidays hit. We all know what the holidays are like, and our schedules in January lined up for February.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. For those of you who've been listening, you know a little bit. We got a little bit of a peek into this world with our 4-episode mini-series where we did Scot-Free, where it's our 4 little anarchs in Gary, Indiana, trying to make their way with the 18-year-old mob queen, which has been fantastic. But that took place after the main crew left and after the attack on Gary, Indiana, that Vera started with the Lupine. But before we get to any of that, just a big thank you to everybody who supported us. And if you guys, want to support us, there's a bajillion ways to do it. But the best ways you can do it is, one, just leaving a review. Wherever you're listening to the podcast, dropping a review is huge. It helps, make our show more findable for people. And, it'll be more recommended to people who are in the tabletop podcast sphere. And on top of that, if you want to go above and beyond, you can head over to patreon.com/podbynight. You can get a bunch of extras behind the scenes stuff there. If you're part of our Discord, which is totally free to join, you'll get a special color. And there's a bunch of just like extras, including after shows and in community RP stuff, as well as character sheets and all kinds of stuff. So head over there again, patreon.com/podbynight, and it helps just make the show happen. We wouldn't be doing this without you. We were just saying off camera, we've been doing this now for this show in particular now, 2 years, 3 years overall.
3, I think we're on year 3,
which
maybe?
is nuts. Wild.
We started in the quake of 2020.
Yeah, coming up on 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, time. It doesn't exist. The older you get, the faster it just goes.
You want to know why math is? Because we're doing things we love.
Exactly. You know what? You're right. I'll take that. Yeah, we're just going to jump back in. I hope you guys have been good. It's good to have you all back. But I'm eager to kind of get back into character here. And what we're going to end up doing for episode 1 is we're going to rewind time a little bit. And we're going to kind of pick up right where last season left off. So, no real time gap in between. We're actually going to be on the boats and seeing what happened. If you're wondering where the other players are, well, that's the big old surprise. Today is going to be an episode about these 3 characters because they're on one of the boats. And on the other boat, the other characters. And instead of having us going back and forth, we're going to actually just really focus on each one because it's not going to be as peaceful a ride, I think, as maybe they'd hoped.
I've written several songs about boats.
Time for a new one. Are you ready to write an additional boat song?
I mean, maybe. It could.
All right, well then, without further ado, let's set the scene, rein things in, and see what this portion of the coterie is up to. Before we see anything, as our vision remains dark, we hear the puttering and the chattering of a crew of people on a rather large boat, moving across the river, having departed the shores of Gary, Indiana, the vacation spot of nobody, about 15 minutes ago. And as our vision finally does fade in to see what exactly is providing those noises of joyous people and machinery, we move our vision down onto the river and see a rather large, multi-storied, it's 2 stories if I remember correctly, basically a gambling boat, a party boat. As it moves slowly along the river, the sounds of slot machines and people drinking and chattering and laughing are abundant. And as we get closer to it, we can see more individuals walking around what little deck there even is, as with boats like these, they prefer to keep people where the gambling happens. But those individuals that we do see striding around on the outside are leaning over the boat. One's violently puking while the other one is drinking a beer and patting his buddy's back. You can hear him saying something about sorry for the loss of $1,000 and we'll get it back, pal. We'll get it back, no problem. But that also becomes mute noise as our vision moves past them and through a double door into the second floor of this boat built for the gambling. On the second floor is the majority of the slot machines, as we can look over a balcony onto the first floor and see there's a few tables where card games are happening, poker, and so on. But the majority of this boat is various different gambling machines, and all those particular notes that strike that particular chord in your brain to make you pull that lever one more time are flooding our ears. But none of that matters. As we push past everybody, the crowd of people wandering to the back corner of the second floor, where we see a familiar figure standing with familiar company. Vera, what were you wearing when you departed on this evening to join this boat?
Well, I was wearing a nice, clean, brand new, perfectly tailored black velvet dress, which is now ruined by asphalt and lupine blood, and my tights are torn. One of my heels is scuffed.
So you look like you had a night out gambling.
On a gambling boat, yes.
It was a typical night in Gary, Indiana, it looks like. Absolutely.
Like picking brush or something out of my hair.
And I imagine not too far is Robert. Maybe a few feet away. I'm not sure if, would Robert be sticking close to Vera, or would he keep some distance on the off chance something happens?
I don't think that he would be too far away. Perhaps keeping one eye in every direction to see what might happen, but I feel he would be fairly close.
And so maybe we, as our vision turns from Vera, as she's kind of arranging and pulling things out of her hair, and through the crowd, we can see maybe 2-3 feet away, Robert, standing and keeping an eye out around, making sure no surprises land at his feet. Adelaide is also on this boat. I imagine at the moment, because Max is invisible, or is he just fully wrapped up? Is Max trying to be invisible, or?
Yeah, now here's a question. Has Adelaide progressed far enough in her, X-Men style training so that she can actually obfuscate by herself, or does she need me to do it?
She is able to obfuscate by herself, but unlike you, she is not at the point where she can move and obfuscate simultaneously. If she stands still, she can obfuscate, and it works fine. But if she moves at all, she will come out of her visibility. Yeah, what's up, Jason?
It depends on how long the training montage was.
Oh, we did a good montage. Lifting weights, running on the beach, the whole bit.
Excellent. What did they play? Was Survivor the soundtrack, or was it Take It to the Limit?
Oh, no, it was Eye of the Tiger for sure.
Okay, all right.
Was Max Jr. like following her as we got a profile shot of her running down the beach, Max Jr.'s?
No, it would cut to Max Jr., like reading a newspaper and smoking and wearing like a wool cap, and he was in that role, the Burgess Meredith role.
I like how her training went down. No wonder she's doing so well.
This really is the world of darkness.
Yeah. Now the thing is, did we have a place where we can stash Adelaide? Like a secure room on this boat.
If that was something you were looking to do, you could procure a safe area, probably down in storage somewhere in refrigeration,
or the boiler room.
Yeah, boiler room. Like that's not difficult for you to attain, even if you don't make a deal. Any kindred, Vera could walk up to somebody and just go, "You're going to take me to the boiler room now," and they're mortal, so they'll be like, "Yeah, okay, let's do it." So yeah, if that's what you prefer.
If we don't already have that place secured, then Adelaide is probably with me doing what we did before, where she's basically riding on my back.
Yeah.
And I'm carrying her and obfuscating her, and Max Jr. is probably riding on her. Let's face it.
I would say if it's your choice, but I would say you easily would be able to secure a position under the boat, in the lower decks, if that's something that Max would definitely want to do as a priority, rather than having her follow him around.
For right now, we're getting the lay of the land. So
okay,
that's where we're going to be heading to next. But Max is probably sticking relatively close to Vera and keeping Adelaide safe too.
So we'd see no sign of Max in this moment, as he is invisible and kind of getting a lay of the land, as he says. Vera, as you gaze around, and Robert, you as well, though he's probably paying a little less attention to this, to remind everybody, this is a party for whom exactly?
Oh, yes, of course. As I'm fixing my face, probably in the mirror of a slot machine, and trying to get my hair back, I turn around and I say, "How do I look? Good enough to go meet the mayor.
As you spin around and maybe take a few steps to Robert, or are you spinning and talking to an invisible Max that you think is nearby?
Yes, that Robert is there, but I know also that, of course, so is Max. I never doubt that for a minute.
Yeah, Max will signal his approval just with a low wolf whistle.
Gorgeous as always, my dear.
Wonderful.
The mayor would be pleased to meet you. He'd be lucky to be in your presence.
Well, good news, Robert. You're the much-needed jealous distraction to gain his attention, so put on your dancing shoes and smooze.
If you're looking for the mayor in particular, you're welcome to make me a wits awareness roll of difficulty 1 to lay eyes on him.
I'm tired after all this lupine nonsense. 2.
Yeah, thank God the lupine nonsense is done.
Yes, thank God.
2, and does Max want to make a roll as well? 2. Wow, all of you. So you all beat the difficulty of 1. And as Vera says that, well, you're in luck, Robert. And she spins to look over the balcony on the first floor. It takes maybe a couple seconds before you see the man who's very clearly the popular guy on the first floor. Many people chatting his ear off. He has 2 or 3 people really tight-knit with a small crowd around him. And one singular that you can see, personal security guard, not too subtly hanging about 5 feet away from him, keeping eyes on the front door and anybody getting too close to the guy. Not that there's like a million people here on the boat in total. Though it has a capacity of about 300, this boat only has about 100 people on it right now because this is off-season, like not exactly prime time for this stuff. And so you just see him chatting away. He has a drink in hand that looks like it's probably wine of some kind. But yeah, you all lay eyes on the mayor. Is there anything you're looking to do in particular with the mayor?
Based on his current interactions, is he more interested in gambling, in women, men?
Right now, he is seemingly just enraptured with social interactions, conversations. He's not gambling with anything right now. He's simply talking to the people that are willing to kind of move around him. There doesn't seem to be any like particular leniency of like women or men or just like talking whomever. He seems to just be enjoying the company. The company. Yeah. It's a good way to put it.
We're going to mingle. We're going to be part of the party, I say to Robert. Blend in, have a good time, and maybe we'll bump elbows. Hmm?
Very well. And then what would you like me to do after the elbows have been bumped?
Oh, well, I don't know. Didn't you live incognito as another personality entirely for years? We lied to him. We need to get in good. Technically, I'm the new widow in town. Lots of new money. The bank, of course. I'm trying to convince him to put some dollars into what I imagine is a much-needed upgrade for Gary after tonight.
After any night in Gary, Indiana, I can't think of a single blade of grass that doesn't need an upgrade here.
Well, the good news is the lupine have solved much of the demolition problem needed to begin such projects, so...
Robert, you feel a hand clasp onto your shoulder from behind, like a solid on your shoulder, and then a weight that kind of leans in. If you don't respond immediately, or do you?
I just make a low grumble.
Taking the patience to grumble, you realize, Vera, as you look over to him as well, a drunk, middle-aged man who's mostly balding, but tries to keep what little left he has in some sort of style, and a gruff, not quite 5 o'clock shadow, but you can see a little bit of it coming in, and he's got brown eyes, leans in and simply says, "You too, huh, pal?" And you can tell from the way he slurs his words, he's very drunk. "You too, huh, man?"
Ah, yes.
Well, let me tell you, therapy didn't work. I couldn't get the voices to shut up either. And so, let me go. There's a guy. His name is, I think it was Sam. Sean? I don't know. He gave me something really good, and it made the voices go away. So if you need it, in case that secret identity comes back that she said, and he not so subtly gestures to Vera, I can get you something that makes that other personality go away.
Robert, who is your very attractive friend?
This is, and I do the thing where I say, Vera, can I introduce you to...
I imagine, as he looks over to you, he looks over his, name's Peter.
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 And he takes his hand from being on your shoulder and he pats the side of your face, Robert, really like, you're a good man. And then he starts walking his way over to Vera.
Peter. I have a problem and only you can help me with it.
All ears and eyes and other things.
It's in the bathroom.
He takes a minute and just looks at you and tries to register and make sure he heard you correctly.
Yes, the loo.
And then I look at Peter and I give him a thumbs up and a wink.
I turn around over my shoulder and I go, I'm very hungry. Like almost ashamed in a way. I'm very hungry. I'll be just a little nibble. Just so pathetic. I'll be back.
What is your hunger at, out of curiosity?
3.
Oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, you feed. You feed 2?
2. And then I'm just going to leave him for a little drunken nappy nap.
His blood is a little thin and you can actually taste.
And I come out feeling tipsy.
Yeah. You feel like a little buzz. You're feeling pretty good. But you make your way out. You want to go and socialize your way downstairs with Robert, I imagine.
Yes, Max.
Well, what you need, Vera? I wouldn't mind getting the kids stashed below decks, if that's all the same to you.
Well, John should already be down there, along with Max Jr. So
Max Jr.'s actually up on her. We got a real adorable little pile of us here.
Oh, it's like a pyramid.
So, tell you what. I'll get the kids settled with John.
Yes, and come back and check on us.
You got it.
Okay, perfect. Yes, Robert and I shall
make your way downstairs. So Max will separate, and we'll get to Max in a moment. But for Robert and Vera, if you're looking to ingratiate yourself into the conversation around the mayor with the mayor, that is going to be a charisma politics check.
Okay, so charisma politics. I could make this roll.
Any difficulty to add to that?
This will be a difficulty of 3.
Okay, well, that would be charisma.
Nice job. You rolled 4.
No, I guess that doesn't really apply.
What was it? Were you going to say? Wow, and you crit.
Yes, it's fine. We'll take it. I was going to say my beauty, but that doesn't really help on a political check because I'm not trying to draw attention to myself. So,
and Vera, with you, this is your everyday. Vera is a woman of words, posturing, and playing nice when need be to stab the throat or slit the throat and stab in the back those within the political sphere when necessary. Words are just as dangerous as your weapons. But when it comes to Robert, for you, Vera, you've known Robert now a while, but you haven't seen him deal in the political sphere, actually like at all too much since you've known him as you think back to working with him. And for the first time, you see the age in Robert's wisdom truly come to shine. The way he immediately stands by your side, proper posture, and the way he speaks and how to just respond properly to particular prompts and laughing at all the right times and drinking at all the right moments. It's as though you finally see somebody, I don't know if Vera ever sees anyone as her equal, shall we say, but somebody who can keep up with Vera in the political sphere, side by side. Mm-hmm. Because Robert, his entire old life was that of Old English politics, Parliament, mm-hmm. And before moving to Chicago and dealing with whatever history he may have there. And it's just fascinating, I imagine, for Vera, but definitely for our viewers, to watch Robert practice what he preached for so long and see him do it in such a masterfully subtle and almost like muscle memory way. Mm-hmm. And so the two of you each grab a drink, I imagine, laugh and mingle with the outskirts public while you weasel your way closer and closer until eventually you're within 5 to 10 feet of the mayor. And as he speaks and he's telling stories of what his last Christmas was like dealing with funding or whatever, he's looking everybody in the eyes that he's telling you to. And as you get close enough, you eventually do become one of the few whose eyes he does look into when he's telling the story. And as he does so, when you're expected to laugh, the both of you laugh. When you're expected to both be impressed, you're impressed. Oh. And with the little effort, you get close to the mayor.
Is he married?
As you look to his finger to see if there's a ring on his finger, you actually see that he does indeed have looks to be a wedding band on his finger.
Is she here?
If she is, it's not anywhere near him. There's not anybody that's at least lingering near him that seems to be his wife. And he has nobody hanging over him on him in any way.
Well, the truth of the matter is we donated the boat to hold this charity event to raise money here at this casino for all of his little projects. So, I feel like it's only polite to introduce myself.
So when the time comes and there's like a break in the conversation that's, an end of a story before a new one picks up or somebody says something, Vera and Robert take the opportunity. And I see Vera steps forward.
Yep, Mayor... His name?
The mayor. I don't want to use the real mayor's name. Yeah.
It's always Gary or Garrett.
No more. We got it. There's too many Garretts. We're done with Garretts. We're no more Gary.
Garrett from Gary.
Garrett from Gary. Gary from Garrett. Like,
Where is our old chum Garrett anyway? Is he on this boat?
I imagine he's on this boat, and if unless you told him to stay near you, he's on a slot machine somewhere.
Oh, that's right. We had to keep him close because he's important, unfortunately.
He's important. Let me give you a great. Let me give you a name here. I just don't want to use the real mayor's name.
He's a legend in his own mind, that's for sure.
Yes.
Alexander Moroi. Moroi.
Mayor Moroi? Oh, no.
He goes by Alex.
Well, I choose. We put a lot of money into this.
Yeah. Let me, to what he looks like. This man is a man who, what you know of him from the time you spent in Gary as well, seems to fit how he, presents himself. He usually is dressing in high quality, but not particularly flashy clothing. More kind of understated. Usually choosing darker colors that he prefers, just like a regular dark suit with a dark red tie. If you didn't know he was mortal or not a ghoul, he kind of dresses like a lot of La Sombra like to dress. That darker tone, darker red, but understated otherwise. Kind of attire. And again, he prefers to be called Alex by the public. He doesn't like being called Alexander.
Well, I am not the public. I am his funder.
Fair enough.
And I saunter up and I say, Alexander, or is it Alex?
And we're just over your shoulder. We can see just a little back of your head and your shoulder. And as you stride up, you say, Alexander and Alex, and with Robert right beside you. And he turns to you immediately and he gives you a very pleasant smile and reaches out his hand to shake yours. Alex, please, just Alex.
Oh, I'm Vera Volkov, your host.
Patron of a sense. And he actually gives a big grin. It is a pleasure to finally meet you. I was wondering when we might cross paths. And I assume you shake his hand?
Yes, of course.
And then he looks over to Robert and your companion.
Colleague, business partner, some might say.
He shoots his hand out to shake yours.
Business associate, Robert Creslington III. Wonderful to meet you.
Robert Creslington.
I mean the fourth.
He smiles and gives a slight chuckle. He's like, that is the fucking coolest name I've ever heard. And he reaches his hand out. Alex Moroi. And I don't think I've never crossed or heard of you two before, and to hold such an event.
Well, I guess you could say we have a vested financial interest in Gary. We see potential.
There is no more words that are music to my ears than those. Those who are willing to invest in what Gary could be, what it once was, before it is what it is now.
I tend to look on the horizon to the future of what it could be. Sometimes leaving things behind and not repeating history is the best option. Say the new tire shop in town.
You might say there's no place to go but up in Gary.
Yes.
In fact, that could be your new slogan.
Yes, we'll paint it on the town side.
He laughs along with you, and he's like, I actually might consider that. And the tire shop, he takes a moment, he's like, the one on the outskirts of town, right? The one a lot of the truckers tend to make stops at.
Yes.
I have not seen a new business become so successful within Gary, Indiana in such a short period of time in my entire tenure as mayor of the city.
Well, we just bought a bank.
The two of you, are making more efforts to turn Gary around than I've seen anyone in the civilian sphere or private market attempt in my entire life. Gary is where I was born and raised, and the city was founded on prosperity. It can return to that.
Absolutely. All we need is for you to get more people on board, your friends, other politicians, the local council, to support our efforts in bringing in new businesses. And when I say new, I mean new.
Vera, you see what you did there? Get more people on board.
Yes, a joke and boat joke.
do love boat
I
jokes.
didn't even. So, are you alluding to maybe some government grants to help you?
Oh, that would be so wonderful. Anything that the city or state could do to help only assures that we can open bigger, better businesses, just like the tire shop.
Well, there's not a whole lot of funding in Gary in itself, but what little we can do, I would absolutely like to see if we can put some of that in the hands of those who are investing in our future. So you at the very least have my promise that I will be talking to others about what we could do. Do you have a company name, an LLC or something that I can...
I'll have my accountant send you all the paperwork.
Excellent. Your accountant's name?
Vera would know if Duke uses a different name, or would he use Duke permanent?
Duke has a couple of shell companies, I think. For the moment, just a fake name, I imagine, is probably best.
Then Vera gives him some off-the-shelf shell company name, LLC Incorporated or whatever.
He nods and he actually pulls out his own cell phone. He has nobody there to take notes for him, and he just starts plucking away in his phone and his notes app before he's like, okay, I mean, thank you again, and please, you're welcome to stay. I'd love to keep talking, but if you're busy or things to do, please don't feel like I'm holding you here.
No, we're holding you up. You have many people to speak with about Gary.
He smiles. Is there anything the two of you are looking to converse with him about in the meanwhile?
Oh, you know what I do? I hand him in return a business card for the bank. It'll be opened soon.
Oh, cool.
How about you and all your friends who want to start businesses? Maybe we'll give a good percentage on the loan.
He takes your business card.
I need them in my pocket, basically.
Yeah, of course. And you're welcome to make me one more charisma politics roll.
Could I do persuasion?
Persuasion politics. If you want to do persuasion, it'd be manipulation persuasion. And with Robert there, along with you, you're welcome to take a +1 as well. 5 successes. That's basically as fucking good as you can possibly do. You attain assurances from him in the moment as like the best assurances you can. In fact, if you hang around, you'll actually hear him bringing up the topic of the bank to some of the people nearby, and we'll incorporate you and Robert in the conversation if you stick around to do so, which would give him, more, we'll call it, advantages in what social roles he may be making behind the scenes. So if that's your plan, you're welcome to do so. But if you want to walk away and do your own thing, you can.
Oh, no, I'm not going. I have to leave him hanging.
Okay.
I turn around and I say, it was nice doing business with you, Alex.
And you too, Miss Volkov, was it?
Yes.
Then he goes to shake your hand again. And you too, Mr.
Actually, I make sure to say Mrs.
Mrs.
Because my husband just passed, of course.
I'm sorry to hear that. My condolences.
It was time. He's not suffering anymore.
I'm glad to hear that. And hopefully he's just in a better place. And he looks like he just keeps the solemn down.
That's perfect. And I turn to leave with an extravagant, noir exit.
And as you leave, he looks up to Robert, and I could not forget your name. Mr. Creslington the Fourth. It was an absolute pleasure meeting you. Where are you from? What is that? Where is that accent from?
Oh, just a small little town no one's heard of called London.
I knew it was England. I just didn't know where in England, because they sound different depending on where you're from. And
That is true.
He reaches his hand to shake yours, and if you take his, he gives you a solid shake. He's like, "A pleasure to meet you, Mr. Creslington, and pleasure to meet your companion in whatever business."
Companion in business, yes.
What business do you actually? Now that I think about it, what is your business?
Well, we have many different avenues and various things that we invest in. We're an angel investor in several esports startups. We are also looking into rubber tree farms and widgets and things of that nature.
So you're really like a Gen Z aficionado?
You know as well as I do that no one can understand Gen Z.
And he laughs. Well, it was good to meet you, Mr. Creslington. He shakes your hand and says his goodbyes. Do you wander off? Does Robert wander off, or does he want to mingle and stay close by to the mayor?
He stays within his kindred earshot just to see what's said next. So maybe he's too far away, but he uses his special.
Yeah, you move a good distance away, but you can hear, again, because of your kindred hearing. So as the both of you say your goodbyes, our vision, we don't follow you. Our camera actually plummets through the floor into the lower decks, where we lose the sounds of gambling while they become nothing but muffled noise upstairs, and instead are greeted by creaking pipes and machinery whirring around on the underside of the boat, where we do not see Max. However, our camera seems to be following something of some kind. And Max, as you plop down and like land on your feet, jumping down to the bottom floor, and you just stand up and look around and begin to walk toward the boiler room, which shouldn't be too far. Can I get a wits awareness from you?
What's the difficulty on that?
2. As you're walking down, the lighting down here is like a dim, warm orange from the fewer light bulbs or lights that are here. It's not like they're dangling solo light bulbs in a forgotten boat. It's still lights up top on a ceiling, but they're aged. They're caked over with dirt and dust and clearly not taken care of nearly as well as the top floor of this boat. And as you continue, there's a hallway that breaks off to your left, but the boiler room is continuing straight. But you take a peek down, and just as you pass, you double take. As you look down, there's a door on the right-hand side that is open, and you can see just the tip of a shoe, it seems to be, upside down, like the toe part sticking out, but the shoe or foot or whatever is upside down, and only a part of it is sticking out, you can see.
Kid, am I seeing things over there?
It takes a minute, but you hear in your ear, somebody, is that a foot?
I think I ought to check this out. Why don't you get off here? Stay hid, though, all right?
Yeah, I'll stay at the corner. I can't move if I'm staying hidden. And you feel the weight come off of you before, and when you look around, she's already made herself invisible before you can even lay eyes on her. Please be careful.
Yeah. You got that gun on you?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, remember what I told you.
You can't see her, but you know her well enough to know her silence means that she probably nodded.
Listen, if things go south here, I want you to get Max Jr. and yourself to where John is, all right? Lock yourself in.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm really nervous. You're making this... No, just be careful.
Yeah, well, better safe than sorry, kid. Better safe than sorry.
And she goes quiet. Max, you begin walking down the 15 or so feet it takes before you get to the door that's open. And you can see on the door as you creak around the corner, it is a maintenance closet. As you make your way completely around to see if this is a shoe, you do realize that it's a foot belonging to a body, laying face down on the floor in the maintenance room with its arms out. On immediate glance, though, there is no pool of blood or that you can see, or no immediate open wounds that you can see. He's dressed in jeans, sneakers, and a t-shirt. Young guy, probably 20s, early to mid-20s, with just short brown hair, nondescript.
Doesn't look like he's part of the crew or staff then, huh?
Not necessarily. He could be down here just working maintenance, but he's just no uniform or anything.
Fair enough. All right, I'll give him the once-over. You got a pulse?
Give me intelligence medicine check.
I think that's going to be straight-up intelligence there.
We'll take it. And it'll be difficulty of 2. Beautiful. You rolled 2. You reach down and quickly slap your cold fingers against his neck, hoping to feel a pulse. You take a moment, and with relief, you do feel a pulse.
Okay, looks like you ain't fish food just yet, Junior. Now, what's the story here? Check his ID.
Yep. Do you want to just do a general wits investigation check on the area?
Again, that's going to be straight-up wits then.
This is a difficulty of 1. You rolled 2. You rolled wits, but that's fine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll take those 2 successes. It's not a big deal. As you pat him down, you're first looking for a wallet, which you find. As you pull it out, you see nothing spectacular jumps out of you. He's got $20 in cash, a couple credit cards, an ID, but nothing that indicates that he's doing anything else. No like evidence of any kindred symbols that you would be familiar with or anything else.
No wooden stakes stuffed down his pants?
Nope, you pat him down. He's got no weapons on him in any way. He's got no wooden stakes on him. And as you kind of feel, okay, well, I'm not quite sure what's going on here, and you stand up, you actually see, this is what you catch with that, the success, in the corner, just on one of the shelves behind a bucket it's like the bottom shelf, looks like clothes. And as you bend down and pull the bucket out of the way, you actually see a wad of wet clothes shoved back there. T-shirt and shorts.
No ID in this stuff, though, huh?
As you go through it, no, nothing other than just wet clothing.
Okay, well, I don't like this one bit. Gotta let Vera and Robert know what's going on, but first things first, get Adelaide's stash somewhere semi-safe.
She's still where you left her. If you tell her, the boiler room is not too far, that's where Jonathan is supposed to be. Do you want to bring her there yourself?
Yeah, I'm not going to take any chances on that front. So I scoop her back up.
Yep. You scoop her back up. You make your way the rest of the way down the hall to the big boiler room with a red door. And as you go check, maybe to your relief, it's still locked.
I'll give the secret prearranged password of shaving a haircut.
And after a few agonizingly long moments, hoping to God that Jonathan's not dead on the other side, you hear the lock give way. And as the door opens, there's Jonathan looking and not seeing you, I imagine. And as he realizes you're not there, he probably pulls his door all the way open, knowing it's you.
Yeah, thanks there, John. Yeah, it's us. Listen, putting Adelaide and Max Jr. down. Adelaide, you take care of Max Jr. Max Jr., you take care of Adelaide. John, you take care of these two. Both of you take care of John. All right? I'll be back.
Of course, Mr. Maxwell.
I gotta have a word with Vera. John, you packing heat?
I am. It is not on my person, but he gestures behind the one of the boiler rooms, like pipes, and you can see a handgun like laying on top of it.
Yeah, well, maybe you sit this one out, John. Adelaide, you know what to do.
Of course, Master.
Keep this door locked.
Yes. If I may request a water.
A water?
I'm rather parched.
When
you return, no rush.
Oh, sure, you're sure. Speaking of being parched, so I guess all this time in one hand, he's been carrying like a little party cooler full of blood bags. He's going to reach in, grab one, and stuff it into his pocket. I assume Adelaide's fed.
Yeah. So, we took care of that before you left for the boat.
Yeah, and then he just hands the cooler over to Adelaide and just like, keep an eye on that kid.
Yeah, of course. And she plops it and sits on top of it. I'll be here. Just be safe, please.
Yeah, you too, all right?
She nods emphatically, and Max, you probably vanish again, walk your way out.
I don't even think I bothered decloaking.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the door shuts behind you, and you make your way upstairs. It doesn't take you very long on the first floor to see, where did Vera go? Obviously, Robert is still within earshot.
I would have been heading to check on John and make sure he was safe, and the plan was in motion.
As you're reaching the very top stairs leading to the first floor where most of the tables of card games are and slot machines, she doesn't see you, but you see Vera walking, not like briskly in a hurry, but just walking with purpose to the stairwell leading downstairs.
Vera in her ear hears a very familiar by this point phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Vera, we got a problem.
Oh, already? Is John safe in the boiler room?
Yeah, he's safe. The kid and Max Jr. with him, but,
I'm going to check on him anyways. I'm getting nervous about it.
Yeah, well, he does need a water, but, beyond that...
Well, we should get him a water!
Yeah, we might have a little more, pressing concerns, because, I found some joker knocked out down there. He's alive, but, like I say, somebody laid him out. I explain exactly what I found, the wadded up wet clothes, it's like...
So what, you think somebody hopped on board?
I'm telling you what I found. I mean, you can draw all kinds of scenarios from that. You know, maybe that guy took a dip and then changed his clothes and then knocked himself out when he banged his head on the door, sure. Or somebody swam aboard and then ditched those clothes.
You know what problem I can solve right now? Getting John a bottle of water. It's there. Can I grab one? Go down, and I'm going to walk down there and show me, right? Because it's all on the way.
Yeah, I mean, Max was only going back up to check with her, so yeah, he takes her straight back to where this unconscious guy is lying, and shows her the clothes and
to the boiler room.
Yeah,
I kind of touch him with my foot like a dead animal with a stick. And
nah, he's alive, near as I can tell. No, I didn't find any wounds on him, did I? Or not even like a bump on his head?
No blood, no wounds, nothing.
So I don't know what laid him out, but didn't leave no marks.
Well, we always plan for the worst, so we should lie low for a little bit, and make sure that, nothing stray is going to happen. Until then, tap tap, shave and a haircut or whatever.
Yep, the door opens and there's John again. Madam Volkov, it's good to see you.
Bottle of water, John. Stay hydrated. I know it's hot in there.
He reaches out. Thank you very much. I'm parched. And he undoes the bottle and he slowly begins to drink it.
How bad is it in the boiler room?
Bad in what way? Like heat-wise?
Like how hot?
I mean, It's warm. It's uncomfortable, but it's not like...
But not like nobody's going to die.
No,
I don't need him to beg. Okay, perfect. Well, I'd like you to stay hidden. And remember plan B.
to jump and swim?
No, John. The crate downstairs that's to be unloaded upon arrival at Chicago. It's in storage at the bottom deck.
Of course, Madam Volkov.
The empty box. Put all of you inside of it. You'll arrive and you can deal when you get to Chicago if something were to happen to us.
Of course, Miss Volkov, of course. Is there anything else I could help you with this evening?
Well, you watch the two of them and they'll watch the two of you and it'll be fine.
Of course.
Question, when Max was examining these wet clothes, were these wet clothes, say, ripped up in any way? Like, as if the person wearing them had suddenly become bigger?
Max walks away, he's like, hang on a second, and he goes to check. And as you pull open, you, flap open the t-shirt. You look around, there's no obvious rips or anything in that, and as you flap open the pants, there is a couple of tears on this pants. And not in the fashionable areas like the knees, but more in the inner thigh and the back of the leg. Nothing huge, just little tears. Nothing destroyed, ripped.
Still, I don't like that much. I'll run back to Vera and just let her know. Listen, Vera.
I'm closing the door and locking it.
Them wet clothes I found, yeah, they got some tears in some...
No.
Shall we say places that might be found if somebody got substantially bigger while they were wearing them.
Right, a little wet dog problem. Got it. Okay, so if he has raged, would we know about it by now?
You would think, but yeah, okay.
So he's running around naked?
If we're dealing with what I think we're dealing with, let's say he changes so he can swim and keep up with the boat. He clambers on board. He takes off the wet clothes. This would make a lot more sense if that guy I found had been naked, but there might have been clothes lying around, lockers, who knows, staff down here, they might have uniforms or something he could have put on.
Well, if it's here, it's looking for us, and we shouldn't be down here with our most valuable items, if you know what I mean. So let's head up and, be a distraction.
Yeah, all right.
As you agree to that, both of you make me a wits awareness, and we're going to cut upstairs for a moment to Robert. Robert, as you're standing within earshot and listening to the yammerings of a politician talking about politician things, no matter if they're mayors, if they're parliament members, or they're fucking kings and queens, all politicians tend to talk similarly. And maybe you're bored, but you're still keeping an eye out. I need you, Robert, to make me a wits awareness roll, please.
Very well.
Mark, you be the only one as you guys are getting ready to go. Down the hall, further down past where the maintenance room is, it kind of branches into a T intersection, a wall, and it goes left and right. You can see little signs. One says exit, one says upstairs. But down that area, you actually hear what sounds like the groaning of a metallic door, and then with it going ka-chunk, but pretty quietly. It's hard to hear over the moaning and the creaking of the pipes down here. But we'll get to that in a moment. Upstairs, Robert, as you're just looking around, you're starting to get used to the faces. You've seen these people. There's only about 100 people here. Everybody starts to at least a little familiar. And you're looking around downstairs and nothing ever out of the ordinary seems to happen. You may actually make it to the end of this thing without any emergencies. It isn't until you're looking upstairs and you're watching the people mingle and drink and pull the slots and lose all of their money that you watch a particular individual seemingly walking amongst the regular public like normal, except he never takes a seat. He never begins speaking with anybody. And those little suspicions begin to build up as you pay a little more and a little more attention to him. And as you watch him, you see he's acting rather off. His hands have never left his pockets. He's wearing pretty nondescript clothes with a hat that covers a good chunk of his upper face if you were upstairs. And he keeps his head down. Every once in a while, he seems to glance over the balcony. And if you try to trail where he's looking, seems like he's eyeing the mayor every so often. But beyond just being a little suspicious and kind of walking on his own and being away from any social situations, he hasn't done anything openly hostile.
I'm saunter over to him.
So you make your way up the stairs as casually as you can. Could you actually go ahead and make me for this, because it's social, I would like a charisma stealth check as you're attempting to blend in with the crowds and simply look like you're part of the people. Beautiful roll. I will give him an opposed roll. With 2 successes, he never looks back to you. He never seems to notice you or make eye contact with you as you wander through some crowds, laugh, or join in with a joke here and there to keep yourself out of the eyesight. But you eventually make your way upstairs, and about how far away are you trying to get?
I'm trying to walk right up to him and talk to him.
Oh, as you do. So you make your way up. He never, ever notices you until you are genuinely directly beside him.
How about behind him?
Sure, absolutely. Directly behind him.
I say very loudly, all politics is local, as they say.
He notably is startled as he stops dead, and he turns around as he has his Chicago Cubs hat is pulled a little bit down over his eyes. But he does look up to meet yours, and you see again a rather plain-looking individual, clean-shaven, brown eyes. You can't see his hair, wearing just jeans, a t-shirt, and a jacket over it. And you are welcome to make me, now that you're this close, a wits awareness check. But he does jump, and he turns to you startled, and takes him a moment of just like, politics, yeah. You know, I'm just here to win some money. Sorry, have a good night. And he tries to scuttle off. With your wits awareness check of 4, as he turns to walk, on his left hand side, where his pocket is on his in his jacket, there's a very clear, large block shaped object that you can see just kind of coming through his jacket pocket.
I put my hand firmly on his shoulder.
As he goes to take his first step, Robert reaches over and just puts his hand firmly on his shoulder, stopping him, and he kind of just stops and turns around with a raised eyebrow.
I know we're on a boat, but I don't think we're in international waters, and I believe the rules in this state are you can't conceal and carry.
I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe I can buy you a beer, but can I just go?
Well, which is it? Are you going to buy me a beer, or are you going to go?
I'll buy you a beer and then I'll go.
We'll see about that.
He rolls his eyes and he looks around for some of the servers around. And he waves down a gentleman who comes over. He's just wearing, button-up shirt, tie, dress pants, and dress shoes. And he's carrying a tray of drinks. And he reaches over and just grabs a beer off of it, just a bottle of Bud Light. And he said, you see him tip the individual.
While he's doing that and looking at the beer and looking at the individual, I would like to grab the firearm out of his pocket.
Absolutely. Do you have any ability you want to use to do this, or do you just want to try and do it like with manual dexterity check? I don't know what you have for abilities. I got to check.
My best abilities. Well, I do have a pretty darn good dexterity.
We gotta get those powers. So you do have celerity. You have 2 points in celerity, but none of the powers. I gotta look. But you're welcome to make me a dexterity. It would be a dex athletics check. Holy crap, that flat for you is a pool of 8 dice. Holy fuck. And you're welcome to rouse check and add 2 more d10 if you'd like.
I will.
Ooh, 3, but you could spend a willpower point and re-roll 3 of the failures. So
I'm going to do that.
You got 2 more successes, bring you to a total of 5, which is technically as high as a difficulty can go. And as he turns to grab the Bud Light, before his fingers even are fully grasped, Robert just kind of, I imagine, do you reach in and pull, like just go in and out? Is that the plan? We just see Robert kind of like reach in and just grab it and pull it out in a lightning quick moment?
Yes. Witness the power and speed of the kindred.
And as you do so, you grab what you assume to be a gun, and as you pull it out, your suspicions are met with an affirming sight. It is a handgun. He lets go of it, and actually, let me make a quick roll here, because there are people.
My idea is to get in close, put an arm around his waist, and say, let's go to another room.
As you get super close, you're trying to, I imagine, keep the gun out of sight from the public as soon as you do so, but press it up against his back.
Yes.
He just says nothing, but you can tell his posture changes to a malleable one, and as you begin to walk, you lead him to a private room. He doesn't fight, he doesn't attempt to do anything, and you walk him in and close the door behind you. But our vision stays outside the room, and as the door closes, we plummet again downstairs. Max heard the creaking of the door in a distance. What do you do, Max? Do you say anything to Vera? Do you want to follow it?
Yeah, I let Vera know right away as soon as, okay. I don't know if that sounds pretty good.
Well, I would, why don't you disappear? I'm supposed to be here, remember?
Oh, he is he still hasn't uncloaked.
Oh, you're invisible.
Yeah, he's
okay,
still
great.
invisible. Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
Stay close. I'll try to finagle out of this one. I walk with great purpose, as if I'm lost finding the bathroom.
Okay. So you're going to where you heard the door shut?
Yeah, because that's how we exit, right? To go back upstairs?
Yeah. So you go down the hall, it goes into a T intersection, one goes upstairs. As you go to the T intersection, you see the stairs that go upstairs and a door, but if you look left to the exit, you also see a metal door.
Which way did it go, Max?
How many successes did you roll, Max?
I think it was 3.
Oh, no, you critical. You messy critical.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
I didn't even see that. Yeah, you messy critical. You know for a fact it was the left, that door leading outside, the exit door, not the one going upstairs.
Yeah, out that way.
Should you take a look or should I?
I could take a gander.
Vera probably hears the sound of a shell being racked in the shotgun.
And you make your way over to the door. It's a push bar that opens out, and it's just a big red exit sign on the side that you're on. And as you open it, you're led to the first floor, like outside balcony, or just below, like a maintenance balcony, more or less, like underneath where they could walk. Not a huge, nothing more than like a walking path. And as you step outside, the boat's curved, and you see wits awareness, please.
Doing okay at these so far today.
3. Beautiful roll. You see, for a moment, what looks to be at the level it was at, it looks like the very ends of a tail, a fluffy tail, dog, maybe canine of some sort.
Yeah, of some sort.
But you just see barely a minute as it kind of goes around the curve of the boat, and you're not able to see it's ahead of you.
Okay, well, I'm gonna proceed and basically gonna be, peering around the corner with the gun.
Yep. So you run up, and as you peer around the corner, you can see it making its way to another door, because as you peer around, you see a just full-on wolf trotting along the side of the boat and making its way over to the other door that would lead into the other half of the boat's maintenance side. Vera is nowhere near you. She doesn't know anything right now. You have dragonfire shells, right?
I do indeed.
So you wheel around the corner and and level this thing. You're aware it's just a shotgun. So if it goes off, the whole boat is going to hear it.
Yeah, sure is. Okay.
Is that you're going to do it?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna.
I love this. That's great.
Yeah, I think I gotta. This is probably my best option.
So we follow up as we see. We don't see, but we follow what is assumed to be Max hurrying up the rest of that single planked maintenance balcony that I guess is what I'm calling it, and wheel around the corner of the boat to see the other side where the doors led. And as he sees the wolf maybe 10 feet from the door, without really much hesitation, he slides the shotgun out from his coat. And as he levels it and pulls the trigger, we can see his entire invisibility facade ripple away. But time freezes as we pull back the clock a moment and go upstairs again into the room as the door just shuts. And I imagine, Robert, you turn and lock the private door, the room for the private door. And as you have the gun pressed up against him and the door is locked, you have the floor. He is not saying a word. The room is a private room with like an ashtray and a big table, a couple of really comfy chairs, and some wine just sat out already unopened.
Well, the would-be John Wilkes Booth of Gary, Indiana.
He says nothing to that, but stays standing and keeps his hands up. Do you keep the gun to his back, or do you have him turn around?
I want to see his face.
Like I said, with the hat on, a clean-shaven, younger-looking gentleman with boring brown eyes and a clean complexion, a man who would blend in and be a nobody and an anybody. Nothing of significance stands out to him about him. But he doesn't say anything to that at all. He looks to the eye.
But do I detect any otherworldliness of him? Is he, as far as I know, is he a full-on human, or is there something else going on?
You can definitely tell he's mortal because when you reached into his pocket and grabbed him, he was warm to the touch. So that immediately tells you he's at least mortal of some kind. Your beast is not freaking out in any way. It doesn't, but at the same time, it's sometimes hard to tell when somebody's a lupine or not. However, you're in a private room with him and he hasn't immediately changed. So that could be indicative. You know, werewolves do work with mortals. Like, that's common knowledge. And he might not be a werewolf's companion. He might simply be a would-be John Wilkes Booth, as you said, somebody who may be just trying to fuck Gary over even more. But he doesn't respond. He doesn't give you a sarcastic look, though. He just kind of stoically looks back to you.
I'm not sure what to do with you tonight, but whatever your plans were, they're not going to happen.
His hand's up. He goes, well, fuck. And he just kind of looks down. Whatever you're being paid, if you're security, I can get you more.
Oh, really? From who?
My employer.
And who might that be?
Are you trying to coerce him or intimidate him?
Well, I mean, I'm holding a gun to him, so it's intimidating.
That would be a manipulation intimidation check. Are you holding the gun lazily? We know Robert is a dead-eye shot. How is Robert holding the gun right now? I'm just curious. Little. How does Robert carry himself?
Well, he's just holding it close down to his side there. It's pointed directly at him. There's no laziness to it, but it's not like he has double grip and he's at the gun range or anything.
So yeah, you're holding it not like a gun range. And as you kind of say that, who's your employer? He goes, I don't know their name. If you let me just reach into my pocket, I can get you a card.
Fine.
And he slowly, with his right hand, and makes it very obvious, reaches behind him. You feel him. You can see him reaching into his back pocket, and he pulls out a very boring-looking business card, and he just kind of hands it.
All right. I take a look at it while holding the gun and hold it in front of me like this, so he's never out of my sight.
And as you hold it out, you don't see any emblem on the front, and it's just blank. And when you flip it over, a phone number, and that is it.
What is this?
That's who I'm supposed to call when the job was done.
Fine. All right. Give me your phone.
He once again reaches into his other jacket pocket, the one that didn't have the gun in it, and he pulls out just a small, like, burner-style cheap phone.
Dial the number.
Okay. Opens it, starts dialing it from the card, and puts it up to his ear.
No, hand me the phone.
And puts it and quickly hands you the phone. It rings 3 times precisely. You hear like it definitively be picked up, but just silence.
Yeah, it's done.
And just a voice that is being very clearly masked by some sort of program. You're given an address in Chicago.
Great. I remember it.
Yep, you remember it totally. Yep. The address is given to you. Then you hear the other side click, hang up, and the guy is just looking at you with expectation, like what's going to happen next, kind of thing.
Man, I want to shoot him so bad.
The pistol has a silencer on it, so you know, like it does have a silencer on it.
You know, I'm going to feed off of him instead.
Yeah, you could definitely do that too. What is Robert's humanity, out of curiosity? Let's look. Oh, it's not marked. You're probably at 6 then. Let me just mark. But you feed on him. The question is, do you feed on? What's your hunger at?
My hunger is at like 2.
Okay, cool. So you can feed down to 1, which is easy. But if you wanted to feed to 0, the only way to do that is to kill the person you're feeding on, because you imbibe their soul or portion of their soul, which brings you to hunger 0, which is murder. So the question is, do you want to kill him or do you want to just feed off of him?
I'm going to feed off of him for now and then decide if I'm going to kill him later.
So as you drink from him, you know how it goes. You feed down to 1 hunger. And as you feed from him, he goes into a state of euphoria and then just exhaustion and disorientation. Keeping him in this private room, locked, is the absolute safest option, and nobody's going to come looking for this guy. And even if they did, he would seem drunk rather than, like, harmed in any way, especially since you didn't drain him very much. In doing so, you put him on the seat, and he's kind of just lulled into a sense of drunken stupor. And what is Robert looking to do after that?
I'm going to tie him up.
Okay, absolutely. You can make me a dexterity athletics check for how good your knot is. But again, you roll with an 8-die pool base, so probably really good. Yep, the 2, you tie a very, very competent knot for both his... do you hog tie him? Or do you tie him just hands and feet separate?
If there's a chair in that room, I'm going to...
Oh, yeah.
Tie him to the chair.
Perfect. You do so. Gag him, I imagine, as well, in case he ever has a... Mm-hmm. Okay, and then what? You're looking to find Vera and Max after that?
Exactly,
okay.
Yes. I'm going to keep him in there and then go find my compatriots.
As you step outside the private room door, shutting it behind you, you only having the key to it, the minute the door shuts, it's almost in sync. You hear a large crack of a shotgun echoing through all the sounds, and there is a genuine moment where almost everybody goes silent, and there's a genuine, and everybody looks around. We move down to the combat, and we'll see if there's a follow-up gunshot or not. Max, you fire on them. Make me your dexterity firearms check.
And I assume I can increase this.
Yep, you're welcome to rouse check.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to rouse.
You did not get any hungrier, so it went very well.
Excellent. Okay, so How's that?
Holy fucking goddamn. You messy critical. 1, 2, 3, 4, so...
8 messy critical? What?
Total of 8. Hang on, let me...
And that's with the Dragon's Breath round as well.
Way harder than I was expecting you to hit. Jesus Christ. Well, he has to make his fucking roll, which is not going to be much. Because you're getting him flat-footed, essentially, surprising him. So he's only going to get a 1d10.
I mean, let's face it, that shot was to the butt. I shot him in the wolf butt.
Yeah, it was. It was his hind, but it's still fucking fire rounds. Okay, 0, and what is his health in this form? So you crack the gun, and you the sparks of flame shoot forth as the shells kind of scatter into the dragonfire, like just rounds. It's like, what is it? It's like napalm that's on fire in a dragonfire round? Is that
phosphorus, I think?
Yeah, phosphorus. So just a spray of like white hot phosphorus fires out within about 10-foot distance. And Vera, you hear that come exactly. It's much louder for you than anyone else as it echoes down the hall, merely like 30 feet from where you are. And I imagine that sets you off to just start running.
Yeah, I let off like a sigh.
Yep.
Take my shoes off.
But as the camera whips back down around and we follow the shot, it does hit the rear of the wolf, kicking it up off all 4 of its feet as it hits the ground and slides, leaving a smear of like charred flesh behind it as it slams into the door with all 4 of its legs sticking out with its head on its side and its mouth ever so slightly open. And you can see its feet twitch.
Well, you know, this thing's got 2 barrels.
I was gonna say, is there if there's another one, you're gonna fire away, but as you do so, as you're like, are you gonna like walk up to it and like just put it to its head and just be like blow its head off? Like, what would Max do in this moment, or would he keep a distance and just kind of like put it into the broadside of its stomach?
Yeah, I think he is. And he also at the time, he's just like, I really hope you ain't just somebody's pet.
As you level the thing and you're about to pull the trigger, Vera, on your part of this round, you start running, you said, and you start making your way up.
Yes, I'm going to activate fleetness and get there faster.
You would get there within this turn. You would get right behind, as you can see, exactly the scene that I splayed out, and and right before he's about to pull the trigger a second time. Of course, by the way, you also heard the entire upstairs essentially go silent after that shot. And every round is only 3 seconds in World of Darkness, so it's very fast.
Right.
They haven't picked back up. Is the question? You see it on the ground with the flesh and stuff. Does Max want? Does he do it the next round, or is he looking to wait for sound? And Vera, you would be there speaking as kind of a free action, as far as I'm concerned. If you want to say something, you are welcome to say something.
I come around the corner and take this in.
Yep.
I know what I do. If everyone's looking out the window, can they see us?
No, they're not looking out the window. You just heard everybody go silent upstairs. Right. Like the gunshot happened and the joyous people, the windows can't see.
Perfect. This is perfect. And it was headed towards a door into this room.
It was headed towards the door to go into the other side maintenance. It's like on a maintenance balcony right now. The windows can't see the maintenance balcony. The maintenance balcony, if we're talking D&D terms, is 5 feet wide.
Then I let out a blood-curdling lady scream, "Oh!" so everybody can hear it and know that, make it sound like I was being attacked,
okay,
right?
Absolutely. Okay.
Oh, and just something to clarify, because of whenever Max is out in public, even though he's not obfuscated now, he is completely wrapped up. Nobody can see like his giant weird purple face or nothing. So yeah,
Max. So as the gunshot happens, we again blur our camera between floors upstairs, where Robert stands on the second floor, just outside the private room, where you heard the gunshot, and then you heard a very dramatic, like she was being attacked. You know Vera's voice when you hear it, so you're aware. What do? Do you immediately break into like a sprint to head down, try to meet them wherever they may be?
Of course.
Okay. So Robert kind of breaks into a sprint. He also has celerity too, where he's probably using fleetness at this point to move at a speed that is inhuman. And you're able to get, as you make your way downstairs, you don't have to go anywhere near the first floor. You just continue down the same stairs you were going down from the second floor into the basement on the side that you're aware John is on. You make it just up and behind, maybe 20 feet behind Vera. You can see her, and she's within shouting distance if you want. Our vision comes up to Vera, we can see there's a blur of a person kind of just appear in a slight gust of wind, brushing his hair forward when he stops.
I'm waiting on Max.
As it gets there, it goes to its turn, and as Max is leveling it, you actually, like I said, you see its feet twitch, and you can then audibly hear bones snapping as its rear legs begin to distend and its flesh begins to tear, as its hind legs start to become a hybrid of a bipedal creature and the wolf that it is. But it's you fucking messy critical, so you get another round. Make me a roll.
Yeah, Vera quickly says, kill it before it changes.
Not so fast, Rin Tin Tin. As we'll do that again. The whole schmear again will rouse.
Okay, you get hungry. Hunger too. It's not really that big a deal.
All right. And I'm going to do that same thing I just did.
All zeros. All ones. Please. Damn it, no. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
6.
We watch Max probably step out from the corner. We don't see you. You don't get super close. You maybe take one extra step to make sure you get a good angle on this thing. And a second trigger is pulled with an equally deafening crack of the shotgun, but this time without any of the sounds of excited patrons to mute any of it. And instead, it is immediately followed by screams as you watch the gore splatter across the front door and wall as this thing, whatever it was, or whoever this thing was, stops its changing and immediately just dies as the last few twitches kick out. And a pool of blood just spills forward.
Max will swing around back to Vera and just say,
Okay, this is about to be a dead naked guy, so I'm going to make myself scarce.
Does it change into a naked guy?
There's probably not a section that tells me immediately. So for now, we'll just say you do see it the fur begin to fall away and the flesh color begin to replace.
I wave Robert over very quickly.
Yep. Robert, you heard the shotgun shot and you make your way over. She's not far. The three of you are next to each other.
The two of you are my personal security. This naked...
Vera, I don't think I ought to be around, because I'm going to be pretty hard to explain if they want to look at my face.
Then I take your shotgun and I hand it to Robert, so it looks like Robert shot him, because somebody had to shoot him, and if I do it, the ruse doesn't work. We'll give this back ASAP.
Gotcha.
Max obfuscates, obviously.
Go see if there are any more on the boat. We'll be right behind you. And we're going to play this off like this unhinged naked man attacked me while I was getting fresh air, and my security...
We did what had to be done.
As you're about to break away, Vera, you maybe make it 10, 15 feet to the door before all three of you then hear the three definitive clack, clack, clack of another gunshot. You then hear a voice shout over the people who were screaming from the shotgun shell, now going very quiet. And you hear a voice say, "Everybody get on the fucking ground."
I'm going to need that shotgun back.
I take the shotgun and pass it back across to Max. And I take my bare foot, still holding my high heels, and I push his body overboard.
Yep, and you just hear of the water just like swallowing the body as it, with the open wounds, it instantly just starts to sink, vanishing from view within moments.
Time to save the mayor, everyone.
As you guys are starting to make your way, you hear that same voice continue. "We can make this very easy. Nobody has to die tonight. I'm here for very specific individuals. If you hand them over, we'll leave our way and nobody will be any the wiser and you can gamble all the rest of your night." You continue making your way up. Where do you three wish to go?
As we go up, I say this is very easy. I am going to be a little bit of bait. The two of you come in nice and quiet.
Sounds good.
Fine.
Okay, I put my high heels back on, because why wouldn't I have them on? And I straighten myself, and I hoist my boots up, and then I, move right on upstairs, and I'm going to go ahead and put on awe, because I want to draw attention to myself.
So you're going to go to the first floor then, where majority of the people are?
Yes, I want to come through a door like arms up, damsel in distress, and draw attention.
What about you, Max and Robert? Where do you two would like to position yourselves?
Obviously, I want to come in. I don't want to be have a door open by itself and close. So I'm going to want to come in through an entrance that's, like an open entrance. But probably with Vera drawing the attention, if I can, I want to come in at a separate point to her. And I've probably got a rough idea of hearing where the gunshots come from, wherever this joker is, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah. When you get up there, you'll see everybody's basically on their ground, hands and knees, covering their head. And there's an individual on the second floor that's overlooking the balcony. Not the guy that you were with, Robert. In fact, as you look, that door's still shut. But where's Robert going to go before we continue on with the scene? Is he going to be on the first floor, or is he going to head up to the second floor?
He's going to stick with Vera.
Okay, absolutely. So you're right next to Vera as you go upstairs. And invisibly, Max, you said you're going to the second floor?
Yeah, get up next to this guy. My usual MO, if I can
stick this right up his whatnot and then pull the trigger, that's what I'm going to do.
He is standing on the up on a slot machine itself with a handgun in one hand. He's not hiding his face and he's not wearing a hat. This guy is just kind of just standing and shouting and at these people for demands. But Vera and Robert immediately break the speech that this guy would have been giving, as you're the only two standing that isn't on their hands and knees. And of course, as Vera said, she has awe on. Does Robert have awe? He must. He has a presence, and he's a fucking Toreador.
It's the first level, so you don't even have to rouse.
Yeah, you either have awe or daunt. Daunt is like the mean version of awe. Essentially, you scare everybody instead of get everybody's attention.
Would you think it would be more of a intimidation presence or presence?
I think it would be a presence. Yeah.
Okay, the both of you have awe on. So as you make your way up the stairs, Vera has her hands up. Is Robert also like walking up hands up, or?
Well, no, he's security and he just shot.
Right. So you make your way up, and Vera, what do you do? And with Robert behind you,
I'm going to use every ounce of charisma I have to keep this guy distracted. Is there only one of them?
You only see the one.
I smile. I pose just so in the doorway, whatever I have to do to put out a little juice. Sauce it up, if you would. And I saunter into the room with him behind me, and I say, please don't shoot. There are innocent people on this ship.
You see an instant grin that lifts to the one side of his mouth as his gun was hanging in the air, quickly kind of brings down and just levels it at you in a very cocky, arrogant way. But he then immediately lets his wrist just limp as the gun goes down. He goes, I didn't have to try at all. You're just that egocentric. And after he says that, he just says, I'd close your eyes, everybody, if you prefer your sanity.
Yes, I would close your eyes.
And you just watch and hear snapping.
I have fleetness on. I use it to get into his space.
Yep, we all do combat now. And first things first, Max, I want to see if you can get close enough to him. Give me a dex.
I do have Soaring Leap.
Yeah, I mean, you could go if you don't want to go up the stairs, you could just fucking Soaring Leap up there.
Yeah.
But that will, I think, make you come out of invisibility when you do that.
But here's what I want to do, is jump up, Soaring Leap, and when I'm at the top of my arc, that's when I fire.
Fire the shot. Yeah. Okay. Love it. So that the round starts, you see him, his transformation takes one round. You watch as his bones snap, his jaw distends, his nose kind of caves into the snout that moves forward. So that's what we have Max doing. Vera, what are you doing? You said fleetness?
I use fleetness to get into his space. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to use it. Because he's on the second
floor. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, yes. And I come and attempt to get into his space.
That'll be the round for you, getting from second floor to first floor.
Yeah, that's it. I want to get into his space, and if I get a roll, it will be for to dodge it. I'm not going to make an actual attack on him.
And Robert, what about you?
Gun. I think I have my other gun, the P38. The one that I rely upon more. I think I would probably just grab that and start shooting.
Okay, so you quickly reach into your, where do you keep it? Like your pocket, jacket pocket?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and as you slide it out and just immediately point it at him, you're going to go ahead and make me a dexterity firearms check.
That will be my pleasure. Not bad.
No, not at all. 1, 2, 3, and then so he gets a roll, but he's transforming, so it's at a penalty. So when you fire, you watch the bullet fly and actually hit him, and a piece of his, you kind of nick a part of his shoulder where it goes through his collarbone. You can see a small spray of blood behind him, and as he continues to transform, you actively watch as it begins to already kind of slowly heal up. For Max, you walk in, you see him. The minute he begins transforming, you leap into the air. You become visible as you do so, and at the crest of your arc, you level the shotgun and you pull a trigger. Can you just do me a favor and mark somewhere how many dragon rounds you've used as we go through this?
Let's see. So since we got here, this is the third one that I'm using.
This is the third. Do we have it written down how many you had?
I think I had about a dozen or so.
And so again, pull the trigger, fire away. 4, and I'm gonna make a roll as well. Ooh, but you still do a total of because it's a shotgun plus dragonfire round. So even if he nullifies 3, he takes 4 damage total still. And this is different than when the bullet from Robert's gun hit. As you blast and you just blow away a chunk of his upper left shoulder, you can see the singed marks all around the roasted flesh that came off, and the healing process not kicking in like it did with Robert's. The fur continues to sprout through, and the collarbone begins to crack and distend, but the interior is still visible. The wound is still very much there.
And Max will yell out, "Yeah, how you like that, Marmaduke?"
Where are you looking to land?
Basically, he's gonna land up on the balcony with him. So
he's gonna be within distance of him. Mm-hmm. Going to the next round.
Has Vera managed to close yet as well?
The round was spent with her getting up there. She's close as well.
Okay, so if Max can control it in any way, he'll try to be in a pincer movement with Vera.
Yeah, absolutely, and you are able to do that. Yeah,
and I would assume that I still have my very makeshift brass knuckles made of a silver candlestick.
Yes, you do.
Wrapped around my fist, right?
Yeah, you absolutely.
That's on my belt.
Do.
Yeah, okay.
That's fantastic. So Vera, as we move into the next round, I imagine Max is going to shoot the gun, so he's going to be ranged combat for this round. But Vera, what are you going to do?
It's a double-barreled shotgun, which I assume I reloaded on the way, so it'll be down there.
Yeah, you'll have one more you can fire off. But that goes, ranged is the last thing that happens in combat, so is anybody doing melee, I guess? Is Vera, what are you doing?
Yes, Vera comes up the stairs quickly and almost slides risky business style past Max, and she pulls the 2 knives she has left. This is all she's got on her in this velvet dress, and I will actually throw them.
Okay, going to be ranged as well?
Well, ranged is still rolled as melee because it's knives.
Yeah, it's just ranged in that it's distance rather than...
Yes, then, yes, because I want to use dexterity with it, not strength.
And Robert, are you also going to be firing your gun again, or is Robert making his way upstairs?
I'm going to walk and fire.
Absolutely. So you fire off a shot, and you'll be making your way up the stairs. So the werewolf will go first, as he finishes transformation into Garu war form, where as he finishes, we went from about 5.5 feet tall to about 7 and some inches tall. He is a huge animalistic hybrid. Isn't really the right word. He's much more wolf-like, though he stands bipedal with his shoulders slouched forward and gangly arms that are too long for its muscular body covered in fur. And its snout is drooling as it just snaps over to the thing that hit it the hardest, Max, and it just simply starts trying. You can barely make out in its monstrous grumbles just the one word: kill, kill, kill. As it launches itself off of the casino thing, as it creaks under its weight, and it charges to swipe at Max.
Oh, you would like us to kill you? Absolutely. You shall.
As it reaches its full height, Max is like, "Jesus, did I say Marmaduke? I meant Clifford."
You can make me all your defensive roll will be toward this thing. Dex Athletics is going to be your defense while he rolls its attack on you.
I can spend on this one too, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think that's probably a good idea.
Oh, you messy critted! Holy shit!
Did I get hungrier?
You did get hungrier. You're hungry 3 now.
Okay,
but you rolled 7 successes, which is so fucking good. Because my roll, 5. I rolled 5. You had 7. Max, as it barrels towards you, it just knocks people out of the way, sending one person flying over the balcony edge, plummeting to the ground as the older man begins to scream. And it just crushes a couple of the slot machines also in its way, knocking it out of the way with glass and money and coins spewing. And as it gets up to you, just before it makes contact, you're able to, with how huge this thing is, and you can, it telegraphs its moves pretty well. You kind of duck under it as best you can, because as tall as you are, this thing is still bigger. And with just a few steps, you use its own momentum against it, dipping behind it as it misses you entirely. Your crit roll is son of a bitch, because if it even did 1 damage to you, it does +3 more automatically because you're a fucking vampire and it's all aggravated.
Yep.
All right, now it's range time, which means all of you. You're all welcome to make your attack rolls separately.
I'm going to make a cold shot.
I have 3 people. I think he's not going to split his pool. He's going to just focus his defense on just Max. So you're going to be rolling against a 1d10 each. So I'm going to do that first. Go ahead and do your called roll. It's a called roll. The way it works in Vampires or Fresher, you make your roll, and then the amount of successes you have, you then subtract 2 successes from.
I'm going to throw my dagger right into his eye. I want to limit his sight.
Are your daggers silver?
Tonight they can be. I mean, we knew this.
They are tonight.
We knew this was coming, so I don't know how we prepped for it. Max is the weapons guy. I just use what I'm told. But I did leave one dagger behind with the last lupine issue, but T-minus 1 hour ago. So, but yes, I'm gonna. That's a Dex melee knives 3. Ooh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, he only gets a 1d10 defense. So unless I roll a 10, I only. Nope, I have 1 success though, so...
I get 3 to this, we're just going to throw some knives. Have a 7, so 5.
Ooh! So you take away, 2, so 5 successes, let me mark.
Wow.
Actually, can I... How much is my hunger? So the
what's your willpower that you're...
if I get a critical success, I'm trying really hard to...
Yeah, absolutely, it would be a messy critical, but yeah.
No, but I did get 1 more.
No, but you still add a success, so it's still 6. So 6 FF... And then you did 4 ag earlier. And now, Robert, you go ahead and make your shot.
All right.
Max, and this is where I get my actual defensive pool. Thank fucking God. You annihilated one before it could do anything. And you essentially almost half ka-chunked this one.
Let's try a little more ka-chunk.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh. So as you fire off on him, he hurls one of the slot machines at you, forcing you to quickly dodge before you pull the trigger, ending up blowing a hole in the floor underneath. Big piece of the rug, kind of like sears, but doesn't like catch fire, so to speak. But if it happened again, it may. But yeah, he takes no damage on that one, and you need to reload next.
So Max is basically just gonna, put the. I'm assuming he's got some kind of clever Evil Dead.
Yeah, because he used four rounds all told for sure.
So holster, and then the brass knuckle candlestick is getting.
You're going in for melee. Okay. If you were, if you had a messy critical, Vera, and then he was going to turn his attention to you.
I was trying so very hard.
That would be hard. Okay, and then, so basically we see exactly that. As he swings and misses the first time and he wheels around, almost simultaneously, we see the blur of a dagger flying forward and immediately embedding itself in one of his eyes, and he's just clawing at it like crazy. While we hear the gunfire from the first floor as another piece of his flesh gets flung off from the dead eye that Robert is, and the final boom of the other shell, where it doesn't meet flesh, but you can hear the cracking of wood as it spews shrapnel everywhere from the miss. Going into the next round, melee is first, so it's going to be Max, you and me. We're just going to be throwing our full force at each other here right out the gate.
Okie doke. All right, so I'm going to rouse, obviously. I don't think I got hungry.
Nope, you do not get hungrier.
Okay, great. Oh, and I will, of course, add 3 automatic successes to this.
Yeah, no, that happens after you do the damage. So if you do the damage, then it auto adds 3. I've been keeping track of that. That's why you did 4 when he had a high defense. Holy fucking shit. God damn.
So 8 successes.
Okay, let's see how I do.
Then add in another 3 on that.
You can reroll 2 of those, actually, because you can't reroll hunger die.
Oh, okay, all right.
But you can, do you want to use a willpower and reroll 2?
Yeah, definitely.
Go for it.
Bye-bye, Jaw.
I will see. I got to roll still. I might be able to defend.
So that'll just be roll 2 wild d10s, yeah?
Yep. You had another success, so a total of 9 successes. Please, I need to crit. Crit, yes!
No!
Oh! Fuck. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, minus your 9 mean I only got through with 1 damage, but it does 3 additional if it does like your shotgun does. So you take 4 aggravated damage from this encounter as you blow, you round up your knuckles and you almost collide with it, but before you can meet, you feel its own claws sink into your chest and lift you up from its jaw right before you're able to hit it, and slams you onto the ground immediately next to it, looking to take its rear foot, and next round you see it looking to step on you and hold you as it drools into your face with its mixed blood from the wound in its shoulder you gave it earlier. That goes to now ranged combat, Jason and Dot.
Oh, wait. One question. I'm wearing my flak jacket, so what effect would that have?
With a flak jacket? Oh, yeah, good question. That's going to give, I think it's a -2 damage, so you would take 2 aggravated damage instead of 4.
Should I click twice to make it solid? That's aggravated?
You cannot heal aggravated until you only can heal aggravated every night when you rouse, 1 point at a time. You can't actively do it right now.
He has a second eye, and I have a second dagger. I can see it from here?
Yep. Just
Great.
It's a bit it's a little bit of a harder shot because he's hunched over Max right now, so he's not standing up like he was earlier. You will take he will get a bonus, I'll say.
And it's a cold shot too.
Yeah. So instead of him getting 1d10 base, he's going to get 3d10 total.
If it's not a clean shot, Vera would make it.
Okay, it's not a fully clean shot.
Can I instead, this gaudy casino boat, there's got to be curtains hanging somewhere, like big ones.
Oh yeah, of course.
I use fleetness to run over and snatch one down. Here, let me tell you what I want to do, and you tell me how to make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I run and I want to loop his neck. He's by the second floor balcony, yes?
Yeah.
Guess what Vera used to do, but aerial silk dancing. I'm going to just pull his neck back up against the balcony, and I'm going to fall over it.
Okay, so
hanging on, so to basically choke him against.
You said you're using fleetness to do this.
Yeah, so I get there quickly.
Yep. So make me a rouse check to use fleetness.
Check.
Okay, you're at hunger 2, which is great. Then you're going to go ahead and make me a dexterity athletics check, but you're going to add your celerity rating to this roll to do this in your round to move it at
Do I
speed.
get my specialty of aerial silks?
Yeah. Yes.
It's bizarre as hell,
absolutely
isn't it?
actually applies here. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to get 3 extra dice in this roll.
Okay.
Rouse, I did the fleetness, I did the thing, so... Oh, what happens if I use my last willpower?
You start taking penalties, -2s and 3s on pretty much everything.
Everything. Then I will hold. I'm tired. My brain is
1,
tired.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so he's going to do that. Before I get to his roll for that, Robert, are you? You're up the stairs after your last round. Once you're up there, you have the choice to stay range, or you could go melee.
Well, if I saw what Vera was doing, and basically at the end of the move that she's doing, she's applying her weight, correct?
Yep.
So what if I were to assist her once I see her doing that, since I'm right next, to add my weight to the choke?
Yeah, absolutely. You may make me a dexterity athletics check as well. If you want to use fleetness like her, you don't need to, but you could because it would add dice to your roll. You would go ahead and make a rouse check first. And you have 2 dots in celerity, so it would also add 2 more. So so you would add, it'd be 10d10 you're rolling total.
All right.
Yeah, it's real good.
I did gain 1 thing of hunger, though. But
yeah, it's okay. Being 2 is not too bad. 3 is when you need to start to worry. You don't ever want to go to 4 or 5. So you had 2, but you could use a willpower and re-roll 3 if you'd like.
All right. I'm going to.
You had 2 more for a total of 4. Plus Vera rolled a total
6.
of 6, and he's just going to get 3d10 here. He's not going to get much. Yeah, I only rolled a success. So in a blur, as he swipes and actually takes a huge chunk out of Max and slamming him to the ground, just as his foot is lifted up and about to come down onto Max, it's hard to see. We can only hear the clattering of the metal as we turn our vision to see the curtains have already been pulled down. By the time we look back, we can only see the curtain itself just looped around and actually pulls. You said you want to put it over him, tighten it around him, and
over
yank
his
him back.
neck.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I just make a diving leap with both ends in my
Goes
hand.
to claw at it, and then as you go to make a diving leap, joining you midair, you watch as Robert crouches and jumps, and he grabs onto the top of his head and uses his own weight to yank it toward the balcony. And you hear a couple of hard doosh, doosh, doosh before it, as it's swiping, trying to get at you, and it's about to fall. So on the next round, it's gonna, as it's falling, it's gonna swipe at you with a huge penalty to its roll. And whoever's, I'm gonna roll 1d4. You are odds, Jason. Dot, your evens. That's who the roll is basically going toward. Let's do 1d4. Okay, evens. He's swiping at Viria, but he's taking a 50% penalty to his pool than he normally would. As he already is falling, he is going to be falling and taking superficial damage from the fall. So he's going to get a...
So he's going over the edge.
He's going over the edge, but he's swiping at the back of him where whoever's holding on this thing. And go ahead and make me a Dex Athletics check, Vera, for your defensive roll. This is basically you using your acrobatic, aficionado in the air, plus the curtain to just, move with elegance and ballet style beauty.
6.
Yeah, you're able to avoid his every swipe. Not one comes into contact with you. as he's reaching up for whoever's, doing this. And he goes overboard, and he is about to collide with the ground. And as he careens down, the two of you, Robert and Vera, need to make me a Dex Athletics check to land comfortably here.
Okay.
I'm going to, because it's free, use Cat's Grace to land on my feet, please.
Yes, absolutely. You got Cat's Grace, so you just automatically succeed, right?
Oh, that was really bad for me. I'm going, but I can't, it's okay. I can't use my willpower.
While you may not land on your feet with elegance, you still use your momentum to elegantly roll the momentum off of you as you then kind of rise to your feet. As you, Robert, also are able to just kind of almost superhero land, just kind of like hit the momentum on the ground, and there's small cracks in the wood underneath where you land, but you take no damage. And as it lands and hits its head first, and then its back, there's a huge thud as some more cracks under the wood go, and you watch its head bounce off of the floor a couple of times, clearly doing some damage to it. And last but not least is Max. Max, you watched the whole thing happen. It was all melee, so it went first. Were you going to swing at it if you wanted to? Did you want to jump down on it? Or what is Max looking to do?
Okay, so I'm up on the second floor now, and it's down on the ground.
Yep, you're on the second floor balcony, and he fell down.
Okay, well, that gives me a time to load a couple of Dragon's Breath shells, I reckon. And I'm going to get down to a place where I can shoot at it.
Yeah, you can reload 2 rounds and make your way downstairs as your round. Easily done. And finding a place where you get a shot on this thing is easy because the people who haven't left or who haven't lifted up there's like only a few people left that haven't lifted up their heads to run. Almost everybody else has screamed and started running off for the sides of the boat.
Yeah, okay.
This has all been like 9 seconds, mind you. It's literally been only like 9 seconds. So you reload, we're top of the order, back into melee. Who is doing melee on it? Robert and Vera, you're both really close, or are you just trying to keep it blind?
Yeah, I'm going to take my second knife and make the throw to take his other eye out.
Do you want to are you trying to keep the curtain on it, though, or?
I mean, if it's going to help keep it down, or I can begin to strangulate him, but I'm not very strong.
No, yeah. It's more, I'm looking like, are you going to, if you let it go to throw a knife, you're letting go of it, or you can keep it blind, which will keep it penalized.
Oh, yeah, if it's blind, then that's what I'm going to try.
Yeah, it's going to keep blind, but it's going to keep swiping at you in the meantime, trying to stop it, or it might just rip the curtain this round, but it's going to be blind one more round.
Will it also choke him?
Because my plan was to loop the neck. I was trying to choke him, but...
You could try. You would know choking a lupine is like trying to choke a vampire.
Great. Okay, does it probably won't work. Okay.
Doesn't really do anything, yeah. They supernaturally heal way too much for it to matter. So you're going to try and keep it blind. Does Robert also want to help keeping it blind, or does he let go and let Vera just kind of maintain the grip on the curtain?
I fear as if I get hit. So basically, I'm going to call this round that I'm going to make a defensive. I'm going to dodge.
Yep, fully defensive round, for sure.
I will help her.
Okay, so you're going to make me a Dex Athletics roll, Robert, and Vera, you're going to go ahead and make me your defensive Dex Athletics roll with the +2 for fleetness if you use it again, which I imagine you do.
I can only use it once in combat.
Once per turn, the user may use it because it lasts one scene, so you can actually use it every turn.
I shall rouse and add the 2. 6 from me.
I'm going to make a check, but not an attack check, but an intelligence resolve check for this individual. As it's reaching out, it doesn't try to tear at its own curtain. In fact, it's just too pissed off. It's growling and roaring and trying to rip, so it just reaches at Vera again. Vera, you rolled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's only going to get to roll 5d10 due to it being blind. It rolls 2. It never hits you. It doesn't do any damage as it swipes blindly. Leaving Max, your turn.
Okie doke. Well, we know what's coming, and it's blind, so do I get any kind of...
Yep. It's just gonna... You're just gonna roll flat. It's not gonna get any bonuses to defend against you.
Sure. And I'm pretty hungry, but I'm gonna rouse.
Okay. So, I mean, you rolled really well. So as Max gets up, you actually see it thrashing around, kicking at the ground, trying to lift itself up as it's being blinded by this curtain. And just as it's reaching back to get Vera, you reach the bottom of the stairs, you take a few steps, and you get a very clear shot on this thing. Robert and Vera holding it back, its neck and jaw being held up, giving it a clear shot at its jugular. And we watch as Max lines the shot up. We kind of level our vision right with the gun. And as they pull the trigger, everything slows down and we just kind of move forward. And we watch as the phosphorus shells hit its neck and blood and gore, searing, go flying off in a direction, spattering a couple of the civilians' backs and faces with the burning hot blood as they scream. But as that happens, the fight instantly stops. Its hands fall back and just kind of lag onto the hardwood floor. And its pulse quickly ceases as spurts of blood then cease. And its entire attempt at murdering you stops.
And as Max sort of, lowers the shotgun and grabs his aggravated wounds, he just says, "Hey guys, do me a favor.
Remind me to never tangle with one of these fucking things again. Ugh.
I immediately take the curtain and cover its body so nobody sees it transform back, and I can completely gaslight everybody into believing it was just a crazy man, naked men to begin with.
And as that happens, we kind of pull our vision out. And before we get to see the boat dock, our vision closes. But not before. Off in the distance, we see a second boat. And we begin to make our way that way. And that is where we pick up next episode here on Cracked Crown Season 2. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you all so much. A little extra long episode. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, everybody.